And more updates coming in from Nepal, where curfew continues to stay in place in Nepal. Curfew will be in place from 5 p.m. today. That means it's already on till about 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. No one will be allowed to be present on the streets as well. This is expected because we are now going to see the army actually take full control, and then only the next steps to be known on what's going to happen. Let's bring in our reporters very quickly to get an update. Rohit Singh is joining us live now from birganj. Rohit, news coming in of day 3. Things seem calmer compared to yesterday. There is also a curfew now. Curfew was there yesterday as well, but today, does it look like that it will actually be enforced? Have the agitators had their say now? They've retreated back?
Well, Sonal, see, there's an uneasy calm that is prevailing in birganj town, which is located on the Indo-Nepal border. And as I speak right now, curfew is already in place since yesterday. And right now I am at the Ghantaghar Chowk, and this area was basically the epicenter of all the violent protests that took place in Birganj in the last 2 days. But since yesterday night, we have seen that the army has now finally taken control of this entire area, and since morning today there has been no massive protest that has taken place inside the city. You can see here army personnel, army jawans manning the entire area since last night. However, there has been an attempt of jailbreak in outer Birganj area. However, in fact, what we know is that the prisoners tried to break the wall of the jail from inside, and in that incident, the police had to resort to firing also, and 3 prisoners were also injured in that incident. But apart from that, not much protest was witnessed in Birganj, and therefore we are seeing that on the ground there is an uneasy calm that is prevailing. But the bigger challenge now remains, Sonal, that now Oli has stepped down as the Prime Minister of the country. So who is the next face? Who will become the Prime Minister? Whose government will be formed? And what will be the future of Nepal from here on? That remains a big question. But as of now, most important is the return of normalcy and peace in this Himalayan republic. And we are seeing that ever since the army has taken control, there is some sort of an uneasy calm, at least that is prevailing on ground zero. Sonal.
Let me also bring in Amit Bharadwaj, who's joining us from Kathmandu. Amit, we saw that report as well that you brought in from inside the parliament on what is in fact left of the parliament now, if one can really call it that. Would it be fair to say at this point, from what you guys are seeing on the ground, that now army is fully in control of the situation? Is it safe to say that? Amit, if you can hear me? All right, let's try and patch that line. Let's try and patch that line again with Amit. Amit, if you can hear me, I'm trying to understand, is it safe to say now that army is fully in control of the situation? There seems to be calm and uneasy calm nonetheless, as Rohit was saying. All right, let's go back to Rohit for a bit. Rohit, can I take that question to you then? When the question that comes to mind at this point is that why did it take so long, perhaps, for the army to respond in this manner? The calm that has been brought in, and if indeed army is in control as you are reflecting at this point, why wasn't this done earlier?
Well, see, Sonal, what really happened in the last 2 days, we are seeing that the government of Nepal, Prime Minister Oli himself remained completely defiant over the entire issue, over the entire protests that were going on by the Gen Z and the youth of Nepal. And that is why he blocked several social media platforms also. But he, in fact, I think he failed to realize that the issue was not only related to banning of the social media platforms. The issue was much bigger. and that was the massive rampant corruption charges on the incumbent dispensation, lack of transparency in the government, rising inflation, pathetic condition of education in the state and in the country, in fact, and how children of ministers, MPs, and all those were studying abroad. So all these things used to be highlighted on social media by the youth of Nepal. And in fact, I think Oli failed to recognize that fact, and he remained defiant for 2 days. But when he saw that the situation has completely spiraled out of hand, then we saw that yesterday afternoon he tendered his resignation before several ministers in his cabinet also had already resigned from their post. And later on we saw the Prime Minister Oli in fact tendering his resignation. So that is why I think it took almost 2 days before the situation spiraled out of hand, and he stepped down as the Prime Minister, and later
Why did the army
called
respond
in to take
so
charge of
late?
the situation.
Why couldn't
And
the
we are seeing
army
that
sort of step in earlier and ensure that the things did not escalate the way they escalated? But we'll get to that in just a bit. Rohit, thanks so much for joining us.